Right, well, first of all, thank you very much for being here, as Steve said, on such a lovely day. And I have to say, I bet you're glad you're not having to wear a thick wool suit and a heavy shirt and all of that sort of thing, because I'm desperate to get it off, I have to say. My name is Stephen Castons. I'm not a professional politician, and I'm very, very proud to say that. I got very strong feelings on that. And I'm here because I'm very concerned over the direction that this country is going, and with the relationship we have with Europe, both from a business point of view and also from the point of view of my family and the future for my children. It's something that's very, very close to my heart. I suppose to sum up my feelings over Europe, I just feel that the current direction of travel, our current direction with Europe, it feels like we're sort of allowing socialism and federalism to creep in through the back door in the name of, shall we say, European harmonisation. Now, outside a point of view, I suppose, but that's the way it feels, and I think that's the way it feels to a lot of people. I live near Corby. I live in Ashley, just up the road, and I have a wife and 3 lovely young children, and it's a great place to live in the East Midlands. We're from the Midlands originally. I'm from Warwickshire, and my wife is from Birmingham. My background, I'm from advertising. I was with a global company called McCann Erickson, and I have to say, through my work in advertising, I think I really do understand Europe and Europeans very, very well. Their passions, their hopes, their fears, and their reasons for wanting to be in a big Europe. And that is because I lived and I worked in Europe and across Europe. I lived in the Czech Republic, I lived in Poland, I set up the McCann offices in Romania. And I worked all across Western Europe, coordinating and managing pieces of business such as Unilever, Reckitt Benckiser, Nestlé, etc. And working closely with Europeans and living with them and, you know, socialising with them, you also get a very good insight into the way they think, what they want, how they work, and what they're looking for from the future. 2004, I started my own innovation business, and we created products such as Freshmatic, from Airwick and Mars, Seeds of Change chocolate, and all sorts of things like that. Internationally, the colour range for Dulux in China. And in 2011, we merged with Ogilvy and Mather. And because of that merger, I have a bit of flexibility with my time to take part in the European election. I suppose my big observation from working in Europe and from working across Europe is that the legislation and hoops that companies seem to have to go through, and I've seen this at first hand, and have to comply through, are holding us back as a country. It's killing our initiative, it's killing our ability to innovate, and stifling our ability to get ourselves out of this recession. Many of you will remember the EEC campaign, and my father was a sales director in a company. One of my earliest memories was sitting on the back seat of his car, shouting at the no to EEC stickers because he wanted the free trade opportunity that he thought that was going to bring. But I think today he would be really disappointed. Because yes, we have got the free trade ability across Europe, but at what price? Overbearing legislation, bureaucracy, creeping federalism and socialism, and through Britain's over-interpretation, I feel, of legislation, and someone please ask me a question on that, because I've got a very interesting story to tell, we have ended up, I believe, with a more tied, a more restricted, a more hamstrung, and with less of a global voice than we had before we went in, and we possibly had we not gone in. I believe more of the same is not the future we want for our country, and I don't want that for my family. Realistically, while we're in Europe, we have to make the most of it. We have to fight hard, and I would fight hard for the East Midlands and work very, very hard to get what we possibly can out of it and make sense of the legislation. But I do think we need to support a very hard renegotiation to get a more workable system, and we have to give that a chance. And I think the debate that happened yesterday was a very, very interesting debate, and it has put down a strong timetable. But if we had a referendum today, and on the current basis of the relationship, I have to say, I think the only option is to leave. However, and there's a big however, Europe is a very, very important neighbour for us. We're not going to suddenly move to the mid-Atlantic. It is our biggest trading partner. So if we leave, we have to do so on the basis of renegotiating a pragmatic working relationship that is going to work for this country for the long term. Probably more along the lines of the Norwegian-Swiss relationship, one which is basically focusing on economic gains from having an open market, but not having the European Parliament and the bureaucracy controlling our social legislation and the way we want to run our country. Because we want to run the country the way we want to run it. Thank you very much.